Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I've got the lovely Dr. Ava Cadell, a clinical sexologist and leading authority on love, relationships, intimacy, and sex. We'll be talking about all these topics and more, and even answering some of your emails. Thanks for listening. Okay, I've been throwing out a few mentions here and there about how I received a Sybian in the mail because we were just getting to know each other. I wasn't really ready to get into it, but now I'm ready to spill the beans. This thing will change your sex life. You may think you know all about the Sybian, but forget what you've heard because it's so different from any other sex product you've seen before. In fact, it's so much more than just a sex toy. The Sybian is a full-on sexual experience, one that you can enjoy solo or with a partner. For one thing, it's the only sex product with a unique mountable design that simulates the feel of riding a partner during the women on top position. And the cool thing about the Sybian is that each woman has the power to customize her experience every time she uses it and make it work for her. There's 11 different attachments you can choose from. They have ones that look like a penis. They have different clitoral ones. They have a finger-shaped one, whatever you're into. All this is to provide you with a variety of orgasms to choose from, right? Doesn't sound bad, does it? There's no limit to the ways you can experience a Sybian, and each machine is as unique as the woman riding it. And also, women who have trouble reaching orgasm during intercourse, I know there's a lot of you out there, Sybian could be the secret to unlocking your orgasmic potential. So repeated rides on the Sybian can actually train your body to orgasm, making it easier to experience multiple O's and increased sexual response with a partner. And because of the unique design of the Sybian, once you learn how to orgasm with it, you transfer that experience to sex with your partner. Get it? So you learn how you move and what you like, and then you do that with your partner. It's super cool. Oh, have I mentioned how it will also be hot for your partner to watch you play with it, watch you ride it? You guys can make out, it's a little foreplay. And this testimonial from the Sybian website says it all. My husband and I have been married for 17 years, and I always thought our sex life was okay. But I didn't get too excited about it. My first time on the Sybian, I can hardly describe the feeling I had when my body just exploded. It was just unreal what happened to me. I soon realized that at the age of 38 with Sybian, I had my first orgasm ever. I've now started having orgasms while making love to my husband, and I have Sybian to thank. Thank you, Joan in Texas. So to hear what other customers have to say about their sex life-changing Sybians or to order your own customized Sybian today, visit Sybian.com. That's SYBIAN.com. And as a special treat for all my listeners, you get $75 off your first order with code Emily75. That's Emily75 at Sybian.com. Thanks for listening.
Into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, I feel so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. Well, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com, where you can listen to all the podcasts, sign up for our mailing list. Every day. We are uploading our website. We're uploading videos, changing our website. We've got vlogs. We've got information for you. So take a gander. Check out Sex with Emily. And we're also relaunching a new site in a few weeks. Menace, you didn't know that, did you? I'm here with Menace.
Yeah, you haven't told me about any new site
I know.
launch.
Usually I wrangle you into it.
I know.
But you're not at all. But I am going to have your bio on there because that wasn't on my last one. And I asked you to send me stuff and you didn't.
You should know everything about me. We've known each other for 10 years. I could write a bio about you.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks.
I'd be afraid I'd probably have to
feel
prove
loved.
it.
No, thank you.
What?
I'm just kidding. No,
I love you. I do. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
And we have a lovely guest here, Dr. Ava Cadell. She's a clinical sexologist, and she has founded Sexpert.com, and you see patients as well as a therapist, and she has Loveology University, and we run a lot of the same circles. We like a lot of the same things, and for so long I've wanted on the show, and we just had actually got to dinner last week and got to know each other a little better, and I'm so glad you're here because she knows everything and more about sex and relationships. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Emily.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure.
Wonderful.
Now, how do you make a name for yourself in this biz?
Well, you do exactly what Emily does. You get on TV shows. Like this week, I'm on Kendra on Top. I took Kendra and Hank on an intimacy retreat to help their marriage. And you write books. I've written 9 books. And, you just put yourself out there. Help as many people as you can to have the best sex of their lives. Right, Emily?
Yes, exactly. That's what we do. So tell me, because men just loves reality. So you were on Kendra on Top. Can we talk about that?
I definitely know everything about that.
Yeah. So what's the intimacy retreat? Like, what happened?
Well, so last week on Friday, you saw me go to their home to evaluate them to see if they were even ready to go on to the intimacy retreat. Well, they were, although she was, worried that it was going to be too cheesy for her. And the thing is that actually Kendra hates to hug and kiss. And Hank loves intimacy more than Kendra. So they both agreed to come to my weekend intimacy retreat, which is airing this Friday. I can't tell you too much, but it's very volatile. I brought in a couple of my other colleagues, like Dr. Hernando Chavez.
Love Hernando Chavez.
And I brought in a lady called Dr. Nancy Sutton-Pierce, who did some couples yoga with them and tantric massage with them. But I really worked hard on their communication and their boundaries, and there's been a lot of, lack of trust in their relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And my intention was to get them to fall madly in love with each other all over again. So you got to watch it to see.
Oh, I can't wait to see. But that's what you do anyway, right?
Yeah,
work.
I'm sure if people, if they missed the episode, they can just get on Google and stream it somewhere. Or
Exactly.
like iTunes.
Yeah, but that's amazing. So, because you see patients as well in your practice?
I do. I have a wonderful private practice, both one in West Hollywood and one in Malibu. And I just love helping singles, couples, triads, all kinds of people just really connect and have intimacy. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what intimacy means, never mind experience it.
Well, what's your definition of intimacy?
What's yours, Emily?
Well, no, because I think you're right. I mean, I think that people think, we're intimate. We hang out they think it's like time spent together, or they think it's like we, been living together for 10 years, but you could do all those things and not have any intimacy. Yeah. So I guess a typical client, maybe, if they are having intimacy issues, how would you?
So I break down the word phonetically in, to, me, see. And it's really about showing your partner who you are from the inside out. It's not about, sex necessarily, although that can be nice as part of it. But it's about connecting on a mind, body, heart, even spiritual way to take your relationship to another level, where you are best friends, you respect each other, you trust each other, you have great communication and lots of sex.
That's great. But I feel like, I always say, I think every couple needs therapy. And then after that, they probably, if not even just regular therapy, they probably need sex therapy. Because we all know that what happens when you're in relationships for a while, people can struggle with that. So
why do you think everyone always, a lot of people need a third person to talk to? Are they just, is the thing is just they're just so afraid to talk to each other that they feel more comfortable that they need a third party?
No, because they blame each other. And when there's a third person who's qualified like we are, we can see both sides and we can sort of be a mediator. We can say, okay, what do you love about each other? What do you love? What would you like to improve in your relationship? Now, what are your deal breakers? Okay, now let's negotiate.
Exactly. That's what they can't do on their own. And a lot of times couples are having the same arguments over and over again. And they're like, I talked to her, like that caller we had, on another show, we're starting to take calls. So check us out on Twitter and our website. We'll be telling you how to call in. But we did a show with callers recently, and they're just like, well, I've tried. Don't you hear this all the time? Well, I already told her. I told him what I needed, and we talked about it like once. But they just can't break through with each other. So it helps to have someone else who can look at both sides and be like, okay. Mm-hmm. But even then, it can be hard to get.
Well, yeah, because you might tell your partner something, but they don't hear exactly what you want them to hear. Either you're using your right brain hemisphere, they're using their left brain hemisphere, or there's anger or resentment and they're just not listening. So there's all kinds of problems that happen when you live with someone for a long time.
I know. So what would you say? Because I don't work directly with couples and stuff. So is there anything that you think, I know you see probably a lot of different kinds of people, couples and individuals, but Is there a specific tool or exercise that you think is probably like one that works the best for people who are trying to reconnect? Because that is a top question I get asked too. People are like, how can we bring it back? Can we get the spark back? Is there like some things that you do that you think are, that have always worked or that work a lot of the times, or walk me through that process?
There's one exercise which I did with Kendra and Hank to see if they really were qualified for the intimacy retreat, and that is to exchange roles. So Kendra had to become Hank and emulate his body language and his voice, and then he became her. And I said, okay, I want you to have a conversation about why you think it's a good idea to do this.
And then Hank probably finally became the alpha in the relationship.
Interesting, right?
No, she's totally the alpha in the relationship.
Yes, and that's one of the things I did in the retreat. I said, now it's Hank on top.
Yeah, definitely.
And she liked that. That turned her on. Yeah.
That's interesting, because a lot of times there are women who are more in their masculine, and so it was kind of playing with those energies.
Not that she's masculine, but
No, but in her masculine energy.
Yeah, that she doesn't take any shit,
Right, exactly. So that's really cool.
But that's a good exercise. Just pretend, change roles and have a conversation about something, but you must have a happy ending. That's the only rule. It's got to be win-win.
No pun intended or pun intended?
Yeah, pun intended,
exactly.
Of course.
Okay, speaking of happy ending.
Yeah.
Well, orgasms, kind of. Okay, so I have a question for you. I know that you've talked about nipple orgasms, breast orgasms extensively. And so during masturbation month, which was May, I decided that I was going to have a goal for myself and that I wanted to have a nipple orgasm, breast orgasm. And I got really busy. You weren't here when I talked about this. I didn't achieve it, Ava. I fell short on my goal. And
You
I'm
should
wondering,
have called me,
I
Emily.
know, now that we're friends.
What are friends for but to help with nipple orgasms?
Now, when you're helping people with nipple orgasms, are they busting out their breasts in front of you and you're showing them?
Yeah, do you do hands-on nipples?
Actually, I
she's
don't.
so hot. I feel
Actually,
like
I don't.
Oh,
But for
really?
Emily, I would.
she would. She'd play with my nipples.
I mean, we can do it right now. No one's watching.
That'd be a good show.
Yeah.
But what do you recommend? Because it is very common. Like they say, it's the second most common orgasm or third.
Yeah.
But like, talk to me about
Well,
it. What did I do wrong?
you've got to get into the mood. You've got to get into a juicy frame of mind and fantasize or watch porn or whatever it is you do. Get a bubble bath, eat chocolate. I don't know, have a man going down on you while you're doing it. Whatever it takes.
Even a vibrator.
Even a vibrator, yeah.
Even.
A sex toy will do it too. But for a woman, sex begins between the ears before it can go anywhere. And then have the intention. And your intention is to have your first nipple orgasm.
Right.
And don't be in a rush, because I know you're always in a rush.
I know.
She's always multitasking.
Totally.
You can't do that when you want to have an orgasm.
My problem, you think? Okay. So nipple, but just start touch. I mean, do you think any woman can have one?
I think any woman can have a nipple orgasm just like any woman can have a G-spot orgasm, but not every woman wants it or needs it.
Right. It just was my goal. And I honestly didn't work that hard. Like, if I really wanted it, it might have happened, but I got busy. I got distracted.
Right. It wasn't a priority. But had you wanted one, and for next time, what I recommend is using something wet, like some lube or even your own saliva, and putting it on your nipples. And as I said, watch something really sexy. So what turns you on? What gets you into a juicy frame of mind?
I guess probably watching porn. Watching, like, I like, lesbian porn, female porn, like women going down on other chicks.
Okay, so there you go.
I've been trying to watch more porn. Like, the guy I'm dating is more into, like, BDSM, bondage porn, which is really hot, too. I actually don't even make a lot of time to watch porn, but that's been a new goal of mine as well. Because usually I'll just, like, knock one out like a dude. But I'm focusing on, doing more of that. Porn, reading.
It's research. You have
it
to
is
do
research.
it,
I know.
Emily.
But for so long, I wasn't making time for what I actually do, which is, now I think I'm at the place where I can. So
but that's
I have to take more
okay.
time because, like, I have so many toys to try and so many things to do. And
you do. But,
things to
we do
experience.
teach what we need to learn the most.
I know.
mean, I'm in this business because I had a very repressed upbringing.
Did you? I was going to ask how you got into it. Really?
Orphanage and blah, blah, blah. Yes, absolutely.
So how did you first get into this?
Well, through adversity. I had the worst upbringing, bad relationships, abusive, horrible. I hit rock bottom and, felt suicidal and didn't know about love or sex or romance or anything. And so I really think it was my destiny to become a sexologist and overcome all the guilt and shame that was
There's so much of that.
programmed into my head. And so,
So through doing this work, you learned that. So what about like masturbation? Did you masturbate growing up?
I did, but I felt guilty about it. I used to be, humping my pillow and so afraid somebody would come in, and which made it more exciting.
Right, exactly. Because I never did any. I mean, I wasn't really repressed, but I didn't have an experience like with sex or with masturbation or anything. So through your work, you learned more about just accepting yourself and
loving yourself. I mean, masturbation is a great form of self-love and acceptance.
Isn't it so important?
It is. Whether you're in a relationship or not, I think everybody should masturbate.
Right, exactly.
At least once a day.
Once a day.
Once a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing after this. Exactly. Okay, so maybe we can get some emails. Do you want to help me answer some emails from the people?
Would love to.
Okay. Oh, this is perfect.
All
I didn't
right.
even mean for you to serve this up already. It's about sexual guilt. Dear Emily, I'm a 20-year-old girl, and I just lost my virginity about a month ago. I'm not in a relationship right now, so the two people I have had sex with, I was not romantically involved with, and I can't shake this guilty, awful feeling. What is your advice for overcoming sexual guilt and anxiety? Also, unprotected sex while on birth control, is it worth it? Thanks so much for your time. Your podcast has helped me gain a more positive outlook on sex. Love, Carly. What do you think about that? Overcoming is kind of what we talked about.
Well, I think Carly probably regrets having sex with the people she did have sex with, and she did it unprotected. So I think the guilt is actually warranted a little bit, but, she can't beat herself up too much. She's got to learn from her lessons. I don't think there's any mistakes. I think they're just lessons.
I agree, yeah.
So next time, make sure that you have an intention when you have sex with no regrets, no matter what happens, and definitely practice safe sex.
Yeah, definitely don't have sex again with somebody that you don't care about.
Yes, she's on the pill though, but still, she's on the pill, but you gotta use condoms.
That's
You
not
just
going to
do.
protect it from
It's not going to protect you.
STDs.
Exactly. I just feel like there is such a stigma still. And it's like people just use condoms. Like then you get an STD. What's better? Like what's worse, right? You want to walk around with like get pregnant and have an STD, or just like wear a condom. And believe me, people, they're not like, I think that they get such a bad rap, but there's so many amazing condoms out there now that actually feel really good and they're different.
The blonde kid from Charles in Charge just came out. He had, that TV show Charles in Charge?
Yeah, like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
No,
totally.
but
it was just in news this week that he has HIV now, and he was telling everybody that, like, dude, you have to make sure you're protected while you're out there having sex casually.
Right. You do. And Carly, thank you for writing. And just like pinpoint where these feelings are coming from. If she was raised like, a religious background, whatever it is, you got to work through them. People think like they can just repress them. And obviously like through your work, you, Ava, learned to get through and look where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, I think she should overcome her guilt and shame by saying, okay, this is my lesson. I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
I didn't do anything to hurt anybody. And it's okay to have a one-night stand as long as you don't have regrets.
Exactly. But it sounds like she wasn't really ready for it.
No.
Okay, so we'll do another... Did you have a question? Looked like you were going to
No. I was waiting for the
Okay.
next
And
email.
thanks everyone for emailing me. Feedback at sexwithemily.com. I love hearing from you. And also, they're doing a good job. Name, age, and where you live.
Location. Nice.
Yeah, they love it. They
never have to give us the real name. Oh, no. They forgot the other one.
What's the other one?
How do you listen to the podcast?
How do you listen?
Do you listen on sexwithemily.com? Do you download the podcast on iTunes? Do you use Podcast One, Stitcher?
Right, there's so many great apps.
So many different places that you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah, we want to know.
How do you listen to it?
Exactly. And I also want to thank Dr. Ava Cadell for being here. And let's just tell people where they can find you, because I don't know if we did. It's the best place is avacadell.com, correct? Or Loveology, AVACADEL.
Yep, avacadell.com works.
It's all on our website as well.
Or sexpert.com.
Sexpert.com.
Wow, I like
and
that
then
one.
Twitter and Facebook. I'm just want to shout you out here. Do you have all that stuff on
I
there?
have all that.
Okay. We'll put it all on our site as well. I was just looking for it in here, but it is at Dr. Ava Cadell on Twitter. Okay. Just going to keep going here. I just like to, help people out here. Keep going. Ready? He's
Yes.
staring at me. Okay. Hi, Emily. I'm a new listener, only about 6 months, but I love your show. And she listens through Podcast One. On my third bottle of Down Under... he's on his third bottle of Down Under Comfort. I love it. Best ever. I purchased
great.
Promescent, but I haven't been able to use it yet. Boo. I'm 48 and my lady is 49. We've been dating for about 3 years now. Sex was fantastic in the beginning, but now maybe once or twice a month. When we do have sex, I'm always the one who's asking and trying to make it work. I recently told her that I believe sex is very important in a relationship and can help with stress, anxiety, and an overall mood booster and intimacy. She tells me that she really doesn't care that much for sex anymore and asks, well, what would you do if I was physically or mentally unable to have sex? How do you answer a question like that? Thanks for all your help, Alan. Yeah, long-term relationship. Well, they've been dating for 3 years, 48, 49. Once or twice a month having sex, and it's just mismatched libidos, which is very, very common. I'm sure, Dr. Ava, you see a lot of people like that.
Yeah, it's definitely that, but also I think there's some issues in the relationship. There's obviously resentments, anger towards Alan from his partner that need to be dealt with. There need to be some communication solutions. And, to find out why she's not interested.
Right. It could be sex drive at 49.
It could be hormonal, but when you really love somebody, you still have intimacy. Even if you don't have intercourse, you can cuddle, you can have oral pleasure, you can do massages. I mean, there's so much foreplay you can engage in.
Yeah.
But I feel there's a disconnect between the two people here.
Right. And there might be something else going on. Again, the issues, sometimes there's like stress in the relationship they haven't talked about.
Yeah. Why are these conversations so hard to have?
They're so hard. Because it's like we're not trained.
Exactly. Nobody tells you how to talk intimately or erotically. Nobody tells us that. We have to find out or listen to Emily.
Yeah, listen to Sex with Emily.
Yes.
Yeah, go to
but then
sexpert.com.
we say, just talk to him, and then it's like, I'm trying to figure out the setting and the situation.
Well, that's a really good point, because I actually realized earlier this year, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I was like, God, I'm just like, my whole thing is like communication is a lubrication. And then I just realized, I'm like, talk to your partner. It's not that easy. So then I actually did a few shows like sex scripts. Do you remember we did that? We read we did a role play. But it's really, I just say it's like ripping off a Band-Aid, but really there is no perfect time, place. I mean, you definitely don't want to do it in the bedroom, but it's like anything in life. You practice. You just start talking about it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. And once you have the conversation going, hopefully that will get you places in your relationship.
Right. And there's different ways that are more effective than others. So, for example,
let's talk about it.
Stating your desires is much more effective than asking permission or telling your partner you don't like something. So, for example, you could state your desire by saying, I really want to make love to you this weekend, and I just want it to be amazing, and you can have your orgasm first, and I just want to be the best lover you've ever had. That's my desire. That's stating your desire.
Exactly.
As opposed to saying we never have sex anymore and you're always too busy and blah, 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 blah. Or asking permission, oh, please, can we have sex this weekend? It's been so long. That's not sexy.
It's so not sexy,
Right.
and that's how most people have it. They're like, when we haven't had sex in 6 months since there was snow on the ground. I can't remember what. No one. That's not an incentive. That's not a motivator for people at all.
No, it makes
negative.
people feel defensive. It's like, well, it's not my fault. It's your fault. No,
Right,
it's not
exactly.
my fault.
But then the last thing they want to do is give you a blowjob when you talk like that, right?
Definitely.
So, how do
Not
you
even
do
a
it, man?
hand job.
Not even a hand job. I do love hand jobs.
Hand jobs are a waste of time. But
No, they're not. Menace and I have had a debate for 10 years about hand jobs.
You can combine hand and mouth.
I know, but I'm talking solo hand jobs. Waste of time. I mean, a guy will take one, you know what I'm saying? Because we're desperate.
Just mix it up.
But
mix it up.
They ultimately just want a blowjob, but they'll take the hand
I've
job.
never heard a man say that before, that
Thank
a
you.
hand
Welcome
job
to my
is a
world.
waste of time.
Well, I'm just being honest, and I'm speaking for all men here.
You are
Blanket
not speaking
statement
for all men.
That, yes, we will take a hand job, but we 100,000% we would prefer a blowjob over a hand job.
It's an appetizer, then leaving into it. I was never saying that one should stand alone.
No.
We're not going to get into it. It's been a 10-year debate. We used to
did.
it's literally the most emails we've ever received in our entire life was about the hand job debate. It became we had t-shirts. No, we bought billboards. Okay, but first, speaking of the most popular thing we've ever talked about, I have to tell you about a product that, I always talk about products on the show that will improve your sex life. And now I have to tell you about a product that has improved my sex life and literally changed my life. And I talked about it in the show. We did a review of this product. And I've never, except for the hand job debate, received so many emails from my listeners who were so excited about it because we were giving one away. They wanted to win one. They want to know more about it. And this is called the Intensity by Pour Moi. And it's kind of like, I always talk about the benefits of Kegel exercises. I have an iPhone app called Kegel Camp, but how many of us really do them? Like, who remembers to do them? And even if we do them once in a while, like when we're at a stoplight. And I remember, Ava, we were having dinner last week, and I've told this so many times. You remember to do them when you're on the phone talking to someone. You need a trigger. You link it in when she's on the phone. She's like, I'll do my Kegel exercise, which is so great, but a lot of people just don't remember. And also you're like, 5 minutes, am I doing them right? A lot of people don't do them right. So now there's a product that actually does your Kegel exercises for you and gives you mind-blowing orgasms. The Intensity is a revolutionary intimate health and stimulation device. It takes all the confusion out of Kegels. You literally just have to lie back and let it do them for you. It's a vibrator and a Kegel exerciser. It's the only device that it combines pleasure with pelvic floor toning, which is so important for men and women, but especially for women. Well, this toy is for women who have a weak pelvic floor experience urinary incontinence. You sneeze, you pee. You can also learn to have stronger orgasms and more frequent orgasms. This toy targets your G-spot and clitoris. It uses gentle electrostimulation to contract your vaginal muscles. It blows my mind, and I have like Kegels of steel right now, I gotta tell you. So check it out, you guys. Experts are calling Intensity the only intimate health product every woman needs. This is an orgasm game changer. Go to pourmoi.com. That's pourmoi.com. Okay, so Ava, I know we talked about this at dinner as well. You have also tried the Intensity, correct?
I have. I've used it myself, and I've had a lot of clients who've come to see me who say that actually the Intensity has literally changed their lives. For example, a woman who had a baby, and after childbirth, she said her vagina was just very loose, and her husband wasn't happy. And
a lot of women have this concern. And
right, but you know what? He was smart. He told her that he wasn't happy. He told her why. And she came to see me, and we found the perfect solution, which was the Intensity. And she used it religiously every day, I think for the first 3 weeks, and then she used it once a week. And within 3 months, she said that she had the tightest feeling, and so did he, during sex. And her muscles were incredibly strong, and she just felt like a new woman. She said, it's like plastic surgery for my vagina, but it's all natural.
Exactly, that's the thing. And now, you've heard of this, like women getting like labiaplasty and stuff to make tighter. The problem with that is that it's just cosmetic. So it goes back to where it was. But with this, it actually strengthens from the inside. And so many women just, they experience it after childbirth. Just when you get older, as you age, muscles everything gets looser and drops. And that's really cool. So it actually felt just as tight. So
yeah, no, she even wrote to me and thanked me profusely, and I forwarded it on to the company.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I feel like, and for me, because I actually, it's become part of like my daily ritual. I love it. Like I sit back in my bed. It's like 5 to 10 minutes I do it. And I feel like my orgasms have gotten stronger. I'm more like wanting sex more often. And it also is a vibrator at the end. So it's like my little bonus, like have an orgasm. It's cool, man. It's like, what?
Yeah, pelvic floor. I'm listening. You've been pimping out the pelvic floor for a while.
Well, that's why, my iPhone app too, because it reminds you to do it. So, but you should do yours too, Menace. It's important for men, Kegel exercises as well.
Definitely.
Helps men with premature ejaculation. Helps men, same thing, like just
keep your erection for longer.
Yep.
Yeah, impress your partner. But, what's unusual about the product is that it does not only strengthen your pelvic floor muscles, but it also can give you pleasure, and that's unusual.
That's what's really cool. It's shaped like a rabbit vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a sex toy. It really is a sexual health enhancement product. But that it does have this rabbit vibe that goes on the clitoris, so it can stimulate the 8,000 nerve fibers in the clitoris.
Exactly.
And one client I gave it to who had never had an orgasm before, ever. And, a lot of women haven't. I think it's about 15% of women right now that I know from the last statistic that have never had an orgasm, maybe because of lack of the right kind of stimulation or fear or trauma, or, they're mad at their partner, whatever it is. But this is quite a powerful product that can help those women.
Yeah, it's great. So you do, I love it, clearly. I get very excited. But Ava, so do you have a lot of women who come to you who have never had orgasms or pre-orgasmic? And
I do. I have a lot of women who are in emotional and physical pain, literally, because of some kind of, sexual dysfunction. And actually, there's 43% of women over 20 and under 80 who have something that's causing
pain, right?
Yeah, I mean dryness or hormonal changes or pain during intercourse or there's some issue. And women are just desperate for help.
I know. And they really do feel, women don't talk about the pain either. Or like they suffer through the pain during intercourse and it makes them just want to stop. And they don't. And there could be so many reasons for it, but they often don't get the help or talk to their doctors about it or anything.
Right. They don't feel worthy. And then as you just said, a lot of women don't talk to their male gynecologist. And my gynecologist sends me his patients because he says I'm better qualified than he is to talk to women, about their vaginas.
Right, exactly. What kind of things else do you recommend to that? Like, what's your favorite toys right now? Is there anything great that you really like or that you are excited about?
I mean, I just love the variety of toys. It's sort of like dessert. You can't just have one.
Right, I know.
But
I have a household.
But I like the toys that can, stimulate different erogenous zones, from the nipples to the clitoris to the perineum to the C spot, the A spot, the U spot, the G spot.
Did you know there's all those spots, Menace?
Yeah, there's so many different toys out there now. It's so insane. Like a couple weeks ago, we had somebody in there, and they're talking about like electric current running.
Oh
through
yeah, all
bodies
the
and
electrostimulations, electro.
kinds
Right,
of
I know.
crazy
There's
stuff.
right, exactly. Like Jimmy Jane, Hello Touch makes the one now that you get the electro currents through your body. Plus, an orgasm, whatever you're into.
There's so many options.
There is. Now, when I travel around the world lecturing, I usually take toys that don't look like toys. Like, I vibrator lipsticks and vibrator mascaras and like little vibrator rings with bullets because I get stopped. And they search my suitcase, and if I have phallic-looking toys, they take them away.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. I hate when they
So I am a fan of things that are really creative. And especially if you have kids, you don't want to have a giant dildo hanging around.
No, you really don't. No, the kids always find that goddamn giant dildo.
And your dog would love sex toys.
Oh yeah, she would.
I've been trying to give him one forever. He won't do it. So what are some of the top questions? Like you've been a sexologist for a while now. I've been doing this for 10 years. How do you think the conversation has changed? Have you noticed anything like in the last 5 years that there's like all of a sudden there's all these questions about blank that you think are coming your way?
Well, I think people are more open. I think men especially are now asking for help. Now that it's the new millennium. Before, I think women would come by themselves, but now men want to come and see the sexologist too and be empowered. They finally admit they don't know everything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So they want to know more about pleasing.
All that, but,
Yeah, they want to know how to please their partner because really men are very simple creatures. They just want their partner to be happy.
Yes.
And a lot of women don't know how to express what they need sexually.
So what if a woman doesn't know how to do it? Okay, let's say, because I think that there's a lot of women who listen to this who are like, I don't even know what I want. Like, I don't know. I've been having sex the same way. Do you have like questions you ask them specifically, like to break it down? Like a woman who's like, I don't even know. Like, we've just been having sex and I'm bored or I don't never had an orgasm.
Yeah, I mean, I ask a woman, do you want romantic pleasure? Do you want wild, kinky pleasure? Do you want quickies? Do you want, long production? So, yeah, I try to find out what turns her on mentally.
Because it's all right.
Because it all begins between the ears. And then I always tell a woman, make love to yourself first. Discover all those erogenous zones so that when you find a partner, you can give directions, positively. Like, oh my God, I love it when you do this. It feels amazing.
And you have to do it positively, people. We're talking about positive stuff. That's what we talked about. Okay, we have another question we can answer here.
Okay.
Time for this. Okay, hey, Emily, I have a question for you today. I'm a 23-year-old female, and I've recently gotten divorced from my husband. Long story short, we were not married that long, and I realized I made a mistake marrying him. I was more interested in the idea of being married than I was interested in him. Our whole relationship, I thought I was asexual because I was never interested in sex with him. I had never been with anyone before. Now that I'm single, I've recently met a man that I'm extremely sexually attracted to. Just talking about sex with him gets me turned on. Anyway, his penis is a lot bigger and wider than anyone I had been with before. We both feel like I'm always too tight, to be able to last the whole time. I'm always too tight to be able to last the whole time. Even in the beginning, we thought that he wasn't ever going to fit. After we've had sex for 20 minutes or so, my vagina gets so sensitive, we have to stop. We use a lot of lube, but do you have any other suggested ways about how to get my vagina to last longer without getting too sensitive? Is it possible for a vagina to be too tight? Thanks, Emily. Any advice would be appreciated. Big penis.
Wow. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
She needs the intensity.
I know, really.
Because the inflation part of the intensity, it gives this full feeling, you know, when it goes into the vagina. And you
didn't even talk about that, right?
Yeah, you can make it as narrow or as big as you want. And I think that would really help her.
That's so true. The intensity has this really cool function where you can inflate it. So it places the plates in the right place so it can actually do your muscles for you, but then she could actually feel that fullness.
Yeah.
And it starts the blood flowing and help her her body be able to adapt to his penis. That's a good point.
And it presses the internal, you know, root of the clitoris, which is really exciting. Because a lot of women just thought the clitoris was just outside.
I know, but there's roots. Do you know that, Menace? It's not just a little button.
Yes.
The roots go inside. He's learned this.
Yeah. The question is, again, where do you even pick up one of these things?
Oh, pourmoi.com.
Which means for me in French.
Right, exactly. pourmoi.com. That's the intensity, I guess, is just the answer for everything. But I think that she also, you know, she's using lube. The vagina, is a muscle. So, like any other muscle, when you're feeling stressed or anxious, you could also be tightening it. So she needs to do some relaxing and some breathing as well. But I don't think that she's in pain. So, make sure that he's, providing enough foreplay, that you're really turned on before he's entering her, goes inside. And I'm glad that you're using lube, but you have to reapply too. Just remember, people think they'll just put lube on and like that they're done, but you got to keep reapplying and reapplying. I just don't want her to have any pain either, like any tearing or anything. So
and he could go down on her and give her oral sex until she has an orgasm,
right,
and then penetrate her,
right? Because she says she goes for 20 minutes and it hurts, so maybe that's her max with him.
Right.
So maybe he
Some
pleases
women
her.
don't want to go for 20 minutes.
No, we don't even, right? No, we're busy.
I mean, men think that women want sex for an hour, but it's not true, is it, Emily?
No, it's not true. Like at the beginning, maybe when you're something, you're like, who's got an hour? Like, I'd rather
a good 5 minutes, right?
I go to Whole Foods. No.
Nice solid 5 minutes.
Exactly. Menace went up to 5 minutes last week, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
I went from 3 to 5. Big jump.
That's really good, Menace. Did you use Promescent? So again, just take things slowly and don't overexert her poor vagina. I just think that women are so used to like suffering for it, and we don't communicate it, and she's like trying to please him, and they got to work on this dance together.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all the women listening are like, oh, her penis too big. I'm sorry.
I got to tell you.
Then they have to deal with guys with small penises.
No, in 10 years of doing this, I've received more emails about a large penis than I have small penis. Guys, women are not obsessed with their penis like you are. Like they're not obsessed with size at all. Like, I mean, sure, there's size queens, just like men who only want women with like really large breasts. So that's fine. I was on a podcast yesterday. Greg Fitzsimmons. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
Podcast. And it was funny because I was wearing a shirt that was kind of a see-through, but had like a bra on, and he was talking about how he loves large-breasted women. He's like, and he looks at me and goes, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, I didn't think I was that small. He's like, what are you, like 32B? I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, it's fine. No, actually, you're bigger than I thought. Like, he felt like he insulted me. But the truth is that it's like, that he's like, and then he was telling me his wife, she's like 34 double D. I'm like, so you found, there's something for everyone. So it's the same thing. Think about your own sexual interests and don't really worry about it, but women aren't going to care about your goddamn penis. Just know how to use it, right? Okay, Ava, so people can find you. Loveology, can we talk about that for a second?
Yes, Loveology University is my online university where I train love coaches all over the world.
You teach people how to do what we're doing.
I think everybody should know the knowledge that we have, on romance and love and relationships and sex, whether they use it as a career or whether they just use it for themselves. I think it's the most valuable knowledge I have to share.
Everyone needs to go to Loveology University. Yeah. Forget school and forget, all the reading, writing stuff.
Before they get married,
college
they should
is important.
go.
I know. I feel like that every couple, because we're saying they don't know how to communicate. So there should be some kind of, maybe this is the place that they all go and they could all learn how to communicate, because it's going to happen. Like eventually, I know you're all thinking, I'm having amazing sex now, but eventually. You're going to just because like anything, like you're going to want to advance. You're going to want to change.
And people can't read your mind.
No. Men, women, we are not mind readers at all. And we think that we, understand what everyone needs. So thank you, Ava. I'm so glad you've been here on the show. And you can check out all your information. We'll have these links on our website, but it's sexpert.com, at Dr. Ava Cadell on Twitter, and avacadell.com. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, Emily.
You.
Great. And thank you, Menace.
Thank you.
At Menace.
At Menace
on Twitter and Instagram. And my dog Churro.
My dog Churro on Instagram.
She's growing up. She's growing up.
I know, she is.
I call every dog she. And
but
then
sexwithemily.com is the most important place, though. That's where you find out.
Sexwithemily.com. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at Sex with Emily. And
another thing that we didn't mention is if there's any place that you listen to the podcast, to review it, put a comment, give it a thumbs up, a star or 2 or 5, whatever
iTunes,
you want to do,
or wherever.
If you can do that little favor,
we like that. And when you've said that, people do that. Actually, I appreciate it because you already subscribed to it. So just give us 5 stars.
Yeah,
How hard is that?
However you feel. We're not.
The other thing, I feel like there's something else I wanted to mention. Oh, that we're going to be taking callers. So just
follow you online.
Yeah, follow me online. We'll tell you about that. Sign up for my newsletter, which is awesome. And if I do say so myself, and we'll let you know. Thank you so much, and thank you, Madison, producer Madison, for a great show. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Menace, and is Kevin still here? I don't know. Thank you, everyone. Yes. I love everybody. Thank you, Ava. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com. You know that I love my magic wand, right? Ava, you can talk to me about this for a minute. How do you feel about the magic wand? Have you tried it?
Of course. Who hasn't tried the magic wand? I feel like you become
a sexologist, they're like, here you go. We don't get a diploma, we get the magic wand.
Yes.
But
the greatest gift.
I know, the greatest gift. And now it's unplugged if you tried the unplugged rechargeable. It's pretty amazing. It's not in the wall anymore. It's been freed from its cord. It's a common belief that rechargeable toys can't be as powerful, but the rechargeable wand is every bit as strong as the original. Plus, it also has a new, smoother silicone head, 4 brand new vibration patterns like you've never felt before. They're really cool because a lot of toys now have different patterns, but these are like, I thought that I could just use it in one way, let's just say that. And I've experienced multiple different kinds of orgasms with this and 4 levels of intensity to choose from. And I have tried them all, and it's a little quieter. So you're not sacrificing anything by trying the new Magic Wand Rechargeable. You're not sacrificing pleasure or anything at all, and you might just have a few more orgasms. So it's a good time. Are you ready to go unplug? Check it out, magicwandrechargeable.com. And also Promescent, if you want to last longer in bed, or you just want to have the sex and relationship that you deserve, you got to check out Promescent, because sometimes men just don't last as long. They just don't. Women can take 20 to 40 minutes orgasm. Men, maybe 4 to 6, 6 to 10. And if you try Promescent, you will last longer in bed. It's the only actually FDA-approved treatment for premature ejaculation. So check that out. It's promescent.com, Promescent. Thanks for listening.